What's going on, Evenant? Big Jer, back with you again. Today, we're going to be making like a lead sort of texture sound. It's going to be called Drifter. It's going to sound like this. Nice. That's a fun sound. Let me show you how to make it. So before we jump into Serum and I show you actually how to make this, I wanted to show you some of these automation points here because this sound is, basic in a sort of creation way, but creative in all these macros that we're doing. Why don't we take a second and listen to this little just 2-note riff that I have here, but notice how all of these macros and automations really make this sound come alive, right? So let's check this out again. And then obviously we're going to go through all of these, obviously, and you'll know how to use them by the end. I just want you to kind of see that what is shaping the sound. Okay, I'm just going to go right here and play it again for you. Okay, cool. So I know that they just say macro 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but that's okay because now I'm going to show you exactly what's going on. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is initialize our patch. Go over here and initialize patch, and let's start making this guy. So we're going to use both oscillators. We're going to use one as an FM to add some texture, and we're going to put them both on basic shapes. Okay, we turn this one down. And let's first just get because right now we have the MIDI, right? So I'll include the MIDI, but this is what it sounds like right now. Like nothing, right? No big deal. So let's start creating this. Let's go to envelope 1 since that has hardwired to our, that's the amplitude of our sound. Let's pull this out and get ourselves a nice, long intro to the sound, okay? And over here, we'll do the same thing and pull this up a bit and get a nice outro to the sound. And then okay, so it's going to go out and in like that. Let's turn on our filter and get a little bit of a steeper slope. And I'm going to grab my envelope 1, and this is the only thing that envelope 1 is going to do. I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to turn it off bilateral by hitting Shift Option there, like we already know how to do. And okay, cool. So now the filter is attached to the envelope as well. What I'm going to do now is start adding these macros in because this is really where everything is designed. So I'm going to go over to Matrix, and I'm going to go to macro 1, right? So I'm going to select macro 1, and I'm going to put that on the global tune. I am going to actually leave it on bilateral this time, and I'll show you why. And I'm going to move this up to, I think, 4. Okay, so now if I go here and I could click this and I can call this like pitch drift, right? Okay, cool. And let's see. Very cool. It's actually being automated right now. So let's, hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Cool. So now the reason I left this as bilateral over here, both ways, is because I want to be able to go above and below the pitch, like the root pitch of the note that we're doing. So at bilateral, 50% right here in the middle will be the pitch, and then I can go below it or above it. Okay, so that's perfect. So now what we're going to do is add ourselves in, a little hum, why not? And we'll key track it. Let's see. And definitely going to run it through the filter. Cool. That'll all come together real soon, just to add a little bit of texture to the sound. Now I'm going to go over here and add FM from B. Okay? And now this is going to, FM from here. Okay? And we're going to go down a few octaves, I think. Very cool. And let's see. Let's go over here and set this to flip and see if we could find a really nice texture. Okay, looking good. By the way, I am going to switch that to one octave below. Over here, when you're doing this, when you're FM synthesizing, I think I've mentioned this before, but it's very important to make sure you're tuning these frequency modulations to your note. Okay. You could find how the vibrations start working with each other. That's very important when you're FM synthesizing. So let's go over here, and I like this noise, but what if we actually are creative and bring it down 5 semitones, which is a fifth? Cool. Dope. And let's add that flutter. So we're going to go here, and the way I did the flutter was to do this unison, right? So it sounds good, but then I'm going to add this here, and it's going to be like... Cool. I'm going to call that flutter, and that's going to give us a nice little thing that we could just make evolve in our sound, in our sequence, our riff, however we decide to use this. That's kind of the thing here, and I recommend you doing this too. Make the sound you need, but also give yourself options, because if you just make the sound you think you need, then you're kind of painting yourself into a corner. If I give myself all these crazy options, you never know, while you're creating your cue or your riff or your song or whatever you're doing, you got more knobs to turn. Cool. So let's go ahead and just turn this on mono, because this is just a one note kind of thing we're doing. And let's listen and adjust anything we need to adjust. So let's jump into our effects section, okay? And let's get this thing sounded pretty dope. Okay, I had a little dimension expander in there, and plus had a little hyper in there, sounding good. Let's pop a little chorus on. Nice little chorus effect, maybe some compression. Always when I add the multiband, since it's doing upward compression and expansion, just have to watch out for your any kind of white noise that you add. Drop a little reverb in this guy. Now the reverb is going to really add to the pitching. Okay. And maybe we'll go to plate. Okay. Nice. You can see as you add more space to it, the pitching kind of gets wrapped up in that and it sounds really cool. After that, I believe I added a flanger. And just it really doesn't matter which one you add, I don't think. And there's no reason to move these around like I'm doing. I just guess I have OCD. Cool. Digging it a lot, actually. And the last thing we're going to do, I think you're going to enjoy. I'm just going to carve that out a bit. And then I'm going to make a cool little shape here. And this is what's going to create our stutter effect. Okay, we're going to take this. Yeah, hold on. So we're going to take this and put it over here on our gain. And it's going to be bilateral. Okay, and it's going to kind of do like... Very cool. Let's put it on trigger and like, I guess... Cool. So now we got to control this. So what I want to do is go into my matrix. I've got my LFO going right here doing my stutter. So what I'm going to do is grab a modifier, which we already know how to use, and switch it to macro 3. Okay, and it does not have to be bilateral. So now while it's down, you don't get the stutter. All right, we're getting there, right? So we got our stutter. Let's turn our stutter up, and then I'm going to take this guy and move him over here, and we're going to create like the stutter speed. I usually like to give myself 3 different points, so I don't want to make it too hard. So over here is my 1 speed. I'll have another speed here, and then I'll have another speed here. Let's see. Make sure we're right. Just gives it a little more controllability, and you don't have to be so particular. So you can see how these guys are really affecting our sound. Very cool. So let's see what else we need to do. I think I had a couple of unisonos here, so we can go over to our global tab, switch this to ×4. So we're just going to change the width here down to like 80, and it's just going to just make this a little bit, I don't know, give it more dimension. Very cool. And I think we pretty much have it. All right, guys, that was a pretty wicked sound. Now you know how to make it. Catch you on the next one.